Thank you.
Ms. Kelly? All right, return to chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. Notice is hereby given on the 10th day of June, 2026. The Board of Directors of Ector County Utility District of Ector County will hold a regular board meeting at 2:30 in the district's boardroom located at 1039 North Moss Avenue, Augusta, Texas, 79763. I call this meeting to order. In attendance are Mr. John Kelly, Mr. Jesus Sanchez, Mr. Troy Walker, and Mr. Darrell Pando, and staff is Debbie Hayes and Johanna. I don't know your last name. I'll never remember.
Mr. Hendricks is absent.
Mr. Hendricks is in a conference somewhere for work. So yes,
Okay.
he is absent.
Thank you.
All right.
Question.
Yes,
It's minor, but there's a misprint on the front page, if it makes any difference. It just says June, doesn't give the day.
the 10th day of June.
I know. Oh, I was looking old fashioned.
Yeah, it's not June 10th. It's
My
the 10th day of June.
My apologies.
There you go.
I know you did that. Okay.
Yeah, no
Carry
problem. All right, we have one public comment, Mr. Garza. And your comment is on the water station and the price. We're listening.
Yes. The water station at Knox. My question is, why is the water so expensive? 12 cents is ridiculous. When you can go to town and pay 3 cents for water.
We pay a lot more than 3 cents a gallon. I mean, water, I have property in town, inside the city limits. I probably shouldn't answer this, but
Shouldn't.
I'm already started, so here we go. My water bill in town is exponentially smaller than my water bill out here. The price that we pay is more than the city residents pay. So we are paying for all of their infrastructure and everything that they've done. We're having to pay the price out here.
Nobody's certified any water.
Sir,
Nobody buys any water that I've
they
seen.
are buying it. We have,
Do they keep coming back?
yes, sir. We have several people that just can't figure it out. We have to send somebody out there to help them figure it out. But yes, sir, they are buying it by the tote.
Can I ask you where they're selling it for 3 cents?
At Carl's Water Store?
Does he deliver for that?
I'm sorry?
Does he deliver for that or is that extra?
No, I charge extra to deliver.
That's
I
cheap
pay
price.
$30 for 1,000 gallons
Wow.
compared to
120.
120 out here for 1,000 gallons.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well, you know, I know Mr. Moody here, he's paying 10 cents a gallon and that's delivered from in town.
Mhm.
You might want to get his contact.
No, boy, he takes care of business.
But we had to come up with a price and didn't everybody necessarily agree on that price, but we had to come up with something to get it open. And I agree it is a little bit high, but maybe we can come down.
Maybe, hopefully we can come down when we see what the cost and everything is after we get some figures together. We are going to revisit that. So,
Because what I've seen before out there, you go out there and open up a water hydrant, water runs from 3rd Street all the way to 16th Street. Who pays for that?
whoever's stealing it, we do, you and I do. We're both customers.
I'm not a customer.
Well, okay, I do. I pay it when they steal it and let it leak. I complain all the time.
I'm not a customer because I don't have water. I'm a mile away from that water station there
Yes, sir.
and I don't have water out there.
Yes, sir. We're trying our best to work on that.
Do you know what the underwater station charges out there on the interstate service road?
Out there,
I don't know where it's at.
they got $1 a barrel and that's $1 oil type barrel, which is 42 gallons.
For $1?
$1.
You big truck, though, for what, $35, $40.
We're looking at about $23, $24 for 1,000 gallons.
So that take into consideration, and it is pricey, but you also got to take into consideration that this is potable water. You can drink it.
Isn't it the same water the city gets?
Well, the city, yes, but the one on the interstate.
No, it's not.
That's pop, that's not.
That's not pop.
That's not ours either.
But I mean, the water tank there is, it's not the same water that
No.
the city gets.
On Knox,
Yes.
yes, but we have to treat it again before it gets out,
And the city sells it to us.
and then we have to sell
Then
it.
that's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, that's, yeah, that's,
Just business.
Yeah.
All right. Agenda item number 2, presentation by Kimley Horn.
So Chandler's, I'm gonna turn this over to Chandler. This is in reference to the grant proposal. So in your package, there is the contract that was presented from Kimberly Horn to move forward with this project, along with some documents that have to be signed by the board. I'll turn it over to Chandler.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity to be with y'all today. So the proposal in front of you is, we talked earlier, I think it was about a month ago, for us to move forward with the WSIG application. We've already started some of those efforts with our grant specialist team, and have actually started working out a lot of the front end things with TWDB to make sure that ECUD is well positioned for a strong application. The proposal in front of you today is for us to get paid for those efforts, as far as, task number 1, which is preparing the application for y'all. Like I said, we've started that, but there's still a lot more data and information that we have to provide. So that's the task number 1 of that. And then task number 2 is actually, we've selected the water lines that we're gonna go ahead and move forward with getting grant funding. Task number 2 is how those lines can get built. So we're gonna get y'all, ready to let project by the end of next month. So that's going to require us to mobilize a lot of folks to get it done. Starting today, need to have construction ready plans by next month, but we're up to the challenge. And so we're going to prepare basically the 60-page plan set for you guys. That's going to be ready to go, be shovel ready, as they say. And that will position y'all even stronger for the application. That's an extra 10 points on the application to have basically a shovel ready project. So that's what the proposal is before you today. And then, like Debbie also mentioned, there's some TWDB forms that are standard resolutions that basically show that ECUD's intent to go forward with this application and all the associated paperwork and things like that. So I'll open to any questions you'll have.
Okay, page 5, my only question is this in addition to what we've already spent?
Page 5.
And here's page 5, if you can just see it.
For the cost.
Yes, sir.
What have we spent today?
What was it, 15,000, I think?
Was it 15 or 20?
15.
No, so this is included in that.
This includes the.
Okay, so it's only 500 and something.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, so when you look at that, the original
That'd be
15 is what you
15
approved
less.
for the application and the process.
okay.
So really what you're approving today,
Is
even though
the
it's built into one contract,
boundary
will end up
only
being-
survey, the preliminary design and final design, correct?
will be the paperwork for the shovel-ready project to present. And the
So
reason,
we'll be good.
the reason that we want to do it that way, as Chandler pointed out, was pointed out at the very beginning of this, is whatever is ready to go, then you're going to get extra points when TWDB looks and scores this. And so there'll be a lot of applicants that are going to turn in applications. We're not going to be the only one.
Right.
In fact, there are a number that are in the Permian Basin that are going to do this as well.
Okay,
Some of them I already know are not going to turn in engineered projects ready to go. So we will get points because we're going to be ahead. Now, there's a couple of ways you can look at this. You don't have to do it. No going in that you're not going to be at the top.
right.
Okay. The second thing is that these are project areas that this board has looked at and determined that they are areas in which they want to grow the district. So even if, worst case, we did not get that grant, you already have the drawings ready to try for another grant down the road,
That was my question. How long
Or-
would they be good for?
or whether we know that that's what we want to do, moving piece by piece ourselves,
Right.
we would have that ready.
Okay.
So it's an investment that the district is gonna
And
make.
our future.
And an asset, whether you get the grant or you don't get the grant.
So what you're saying is under task 2,
Mhm.
those 3 requirements are what TWDB are requiring. to apply for it.
To put us higher on the list.
Yeah, to be shovel ready to basically go to construction. Yes, sir.
But there's still no guarantee.
Correct. Yes, sir.
So you're asking us to spend or presenting us with $596,600 and we may not get that grant.
Yes, sir.
But we will have the plans if we have $1 million to spare next year to spend on some of that.
Well, and if we had M&O tax, I could go along with that. But I mean, that is a tremendous amount of money. And I feel like, and this is no reflection on y'all, Chandler, or anything, this should have been brought up when Grant was mentioned and
We did. It was.
not $600,000.
No, because they didn't have a true number.
No, but somebody could have said this is gonna be expensive.
Well, he did say that. When we voted to give him the 15,000,
But
there would be more cost and it may be
So Troy, no numbers were mentioned, and I know you can't because you don't know, but it would give the board or myself a better idea of what this is gonna cost. And just because we do this and we don't get it, that's no guarantee down the road we're gonna get it. I mean,
It's true. It's true. It's a gamble.
and there's multiple times at these board meetings that we gripe about cost.
Mhm.
Lawyer cost, PSC's cost, you know, and here we're willing to jump off and spend $600,000
But
without.
my situation there is, this is the only cost that I can say may pay off. The other costs that you're talking about are standard costs that this board has approved that have to be made. There's never a payoff for those costs.
You know,
There is a payoff possible here.
possibly, but we're already seeing 16.75 million from TWDB, and they look like Debbie mentioned here a while back. Oh, they already got 16.75 million from the state or from us, and they're wanting another 15 to try and run.
I will speak to that, Mr. Kelly. So we did look into that, because we had the same thoughts. It actually shows on TWDB's end that Ector County has received that, not Ector County Utility District. So it's not gonna be counted against y'all
Okay.
in that way.
Now, let me ask you another question. Have y'all started the master plan yet for the county?
Yes, sir.
Is that overlapping any of this year?
No, sir.
Can it be incorporated into that?
In what way?
Let the county pay for some of that in with your master plan.
For the
Alright.
design?
I mean, if I'd have known, if I'd have known that we was looking at this month,
Mhm.
I would have suggested we went to the county.
Okay.
And seen if we could have got Tom Henderson to work on doing a grant,
Mm.
possibly come out a little bit less, I don't know, but
Okay.
I just have trouble swallowing $600,000 on maybe deal. I mean, I'd love to get 15 to $20 million more along with this 16.75, but I have a little trouble. Cause, you know, we still could possibly get it, but, is there anything that could be dropped from that?
We tried to trim it down as much as we could, to be honest. We worked with Debbie on that.
Well, not just the price, but I'm talking about, say, the final design. Could we add that in at a later date to keep everything?
I mean, absolutely, you could face it differently. I think the issue is is it shovel ready or not? And so to get it shovel ready, we have to go all the way to final. And I realize it's a significant investment. I'm not undermining that at all. But it is a $15 million project. That's a really big project.
21 million.
Do what?
21 million.
Yes, correct, sorry. So it's percent of construction is very low. We tried to make it as cost effective as possible. We didn't include, full on survey. We just did boundary survey, what we thought was necessary to complete the job. We talked to local contractors that have done successful work out here. What is the bare minimum you need to see on these plan sets to build the job? And so that's what we did. And we put this proposal in front of you as we try to make it as cost effective as possible.
And let me ask this. You may or may not want to get, but the county's allowed $250,000 to pay y'all to do the overall plan. And we don't even have an overall plan for ECUD. We've had master plans, so-called master plans in the past, but I don't know where they are. If we've seen them, I don't know if y'all did one so-called master plan when we got to 45 million or not, but
We do.
and, we haven't, I haven't ever seen that. I don't
I
know.
believe when, Andrew came out here, it was, I don't remember if it was you.
Yeah, when
or-
we were
Yeah,
educating on what we've done.
when the board first came on and they showed you the master plan and gave you all that when they were here, right after y'all came on board.
Yeah, I have that readily available to
I mean,
send to you right now. We've had that for years. Last update we did on that was 2019, I believe. But
That master plan is on existing line. This is for new lines, so I'm not sure we could use that master plan. For sure we cannot, because they're trying to plan a new area for new, infrastructure. So I have, some other questions.
Sure.
You mentioned the points. What's the maximum amount of points can be obtained on this application?
What is at the top of the list?
Like, what's the maximum amount of points?
Jack, do you have that off the top of your head? He's at his computer.
No, I'll take a look here. I'll see if I can find the score group a bit.
Yeah. The biggest part of it is your average median household income, which this area scores well in. I wouldn't say it's the top of the state, but I'd say it scores better than most. And then the biggest other piece that Debbie was mentioning is the shovel ready piece. There's not very many, our grant specialists that's doing this for folks all across the state said she can count on one hand how many of them are shovel ready in this group. So that's a really big separator for y'all.
Also, like, I'm pretty sure there's a list of, requisites you gotta fill.
Mhm.
How many of them have we checked? How many boxes have we checked on our
Trying to check it for
application?
one. They're trying to check it for one. at this
Right.
point.
As far as like what would hurt you and what would help you?
Yeah, like, as far as, all of the requirements we meet, how many?
How many boxes do we check?
It's
If
not-
we approve this,
Yeah, it's not so much boxes, it's more of that score criteria, the
I get-
number.
does that keep our score high?
Yeah, like I was mentioning, I think the maximum I've seen a score is like in the 20s to 30s. Jack is looking this up as we speak, but having shovel ready plans gives you 10 points. So y'all can see how big of a jump that is. It's like 50% of the point criteria. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things. Like I said, there's not very many projects in the state that are shovel ready like this.
Debbie, correct me if I'm wrong. The $15,000 that we spent was from the $1 million that we had from the bond. So we still have $1 million that we had worked with, that we had thought that we're gonna do something with to improve the district. I know this is more than half of that money, but this is the only way that we can make that $1 million turn into something a lot greater. And it may not happen this year. Maybe it'll happen next year. I don't know.
We'll know before the end of this year, we will get it or not.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So we're not gambling with people's paychecks. We're gambling with excess money that we had because we moved the money and did the right things and paid the taxes and made sure all that stuff went down correctly. So,
And I will add one last thing that I think is unique to y'all's situation is y'all have the data that we've done this year from the surveys that show the needs, that show the situation of a lot of the citizens out here. And so that's unique. A lot of other applicants do not have that information. So y'all are clearly showing to the state that, hey, thank you for the 17 million. But that is just this little piece of what our need is.
yeah.
And so we're just continuing to try to, build on that momentum that we've already built with the 17 million and trying to go to that next phase.
Good.
So I think that's a big separator for y'all.
So Chandler,
Mhm.
you've never done anything like this before, have you?
What do you mean?
Or this type of grant?
This is a new grant, yes, I have done,
It's a brand new.
I have done TWDB grants, but this is a new one, yes.
This is okay.
Yes.
So
This came from all the money from Charles Perry.
Yes.
in your eyes, you think we got a great, good chance?
I think it's a strong application. I wouldn't bring this before you. Debbie wouldn't bring this before you if we didn't think it was a strong application, because that would look poorly on myself and Debbie.
So where it comes down to is us deciding, do we
go ahead and finish investment?
finish the investment or just sit back and not do nothing and keep trying to make little by little as we have been? So.
Sure.
And the other thing is while the conversation continues, and as it should, is what is the district's plans to grow? How are you gonna grow? What is your plan? How are you gonna do it? Well, this is growing the district.
Right.
Okay, and the other thing is, worst case, if you don't get the 21 million, even if you were gonna grow the district in any shape, form, or fashion, you still have to go through getting engineering plans together.
Yeah.
So with whatever little money, if you didn't get it at all, you could still take the money you have the engineering drawings that you have and hire a contractor to go out there and start laying a little bit of pipe. Because it's still a process. This is the first process of having plans to grow your district. So you can sit here and ask yourselves all day long, what are we going to do next to grow the district? What are the plans? What are the plans?
Where's the money gonna come from?
Well, you've been given the plans.
Yeah.
You've been given it multiple times. But you are the only ones that can make that decision. And so if you want to invest in this community to start growing in directions, this is a direction in which you can. The plans are not going to be wasted. Whatever Kimberly Horn does, you're going to use them. That infrastructure out there is not going to change. So you're going to use them. It's just whether you use them with this grant or another grant, or we use them ourselves. Or if you don't want to spend the money, don't spend it. Don't. And then just know that you've now got that 600 or $500,000 that you yourself can go put pipe in the ground. So you can go out there and do a mile.
All right, I make a motion.
Wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
Are you confident enough to discount your cost if we don't get it?
He needs a
Well,
job, John.
How many?
That's a hard question.
How many-
Answer, Mr.
I know it's a stupid question and I know the answer to it, but I mean.
Deal or no deal?
Go ahead, Chandler. Tell this board where you started out and where I got you to.
I don't care about.
$625,000.
No,
It was a lot.
800.
That's right, 800.
800.
Yeah,
She got it down.
I got it down to, yeah.
500.
She wrestled me down. She has that effect on people. No, I mean, I don't know if you'll believe me when I say this, but I mean, I've been doing work out here for almost 10 years now. I care about the people out here. We're doing a lot of work. You keep alluding to that, with the county. This is not overlapping with that because this is specifically to get to construction. That's more planning for Gardendale, Pleasant Farms, City of Odessa, and a little bit of ECUD, obviously. But I mean, I like I said, I've reached out to contractors, tried to make it as bare minimum cost on our end as possible to get y'all a good application, the position to have a good application. So
Johanna just brought this up, that we've mentioned this, but it hasn't been mentioned today. The money, that $598,000, ECUD has awarded the grant. We get to reimburse ourselves.
correct.
Yeah, but
We
To
can
reimburse
reimburse
ourselves.
ourselves.
Because I'd forgotten that we had mentioned that when we gave them the
No,
original money, the
That was
original
less than
money.
$1 million back.
And I forgot about
that we
that,
could reinvest.
and it wasn't re-mentioned. And so while it was mentioned in the meeting when we originally talked about this grant, Johanna just reminded me that don't forget, we get to reimburse ourselves for any money that we spend up front
Well,
if we get the grant.
technically you can, but you're either that or you just take away $600,000 from the 21 million. I mean, one or the other. That's a play on words as far as I'm concerned, Debbie. I mean, you're not really paying, you can't pay yourself back, but you're short $600,000, or you can leave it be and figure that out of your budget and take the 21 million.
True, I'm not-
and go
I'm-
do something. You
I mean,
know, I don't.
Well, how long have we had that money sitting in?
Almost a year.
How long?
How long we had,
Almost a year.
and we've done nothing with it, right?
No, well, we had approved to spend the money on the expansion of the district.
Right.
No,
But have we done that?
Yes, we did. This
Yes,
is
we
a
did.
moot
Yes,
point.
we did. But have we done that?
No, we haven't done anything. This is our.
Probably if we let this opportunity of investment go, we'll probably end up not doing nothing with that money.
Exactly.
At the end.
Well, what I remember happening.
Or we don't have enough to grow as much as we want.
Well, the thing that bothers me, I mean, I've been coming to these board meetings a while. Troy's been on the board for 2 terms or whatever. And this is the only time ECUD has even tried to expand their district.
And
That's what we're here.
That's what we're trying to
That
do.
was in our campaign, remember?
I understand that, but I'm just saying. There's others that
We're
spend
making
it all.
that means we're making a difference.
Not yet. We didn't get it last year.
We are.
Well, we brought up the excess money a while back, and Debbie wanted to spend quite a bit on, meters, because we need to replace some meters. Which I didn't have a problem with that. But once that 17 million that Brooks come up, we forgot about that extra surplus. And I thought at the time we had, it was either $2 or $4 million, and we was talking about expanding in the district.
Well, it was $1 million, or $1 million.
No, it's more than $1 million.
It was $1 million and something.
$2 million.
Okay. Anyway, whatever the number was, we had all talked about it. We were gonna reinvest that, but we wanted to see where the $17 million was going to go. And we've got a chance to multiply that million, 2 million, whatever, into 21 million. These are plans that need to be done anyway, because all these neighborhoods that they're talking about getting are the people that are suffering the most, the low income, that don't have water now. We are working towards helping those people. And I, for one, at a 555,000, whatever, I'm willing to take that chance, because we're gonna need the plans anyway for a future expansion if we don't get this grant. But I'm praying that we're doing everything right and have the best chance to get the grant possible.
General, are the lines in that area where we're talking about going to sufficient, big enough, we're not gonna be needing water or a pump station or.
Correct. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, because we're expanding to the north. That's what we have identified, not down there by Knox Village, because that's where the pressure issues are. So we're expanding to the north where you don't have that. And then we've also back checked that with our master plan. And so, yes, sir, we're good
And anything in the future in that area
as far as.
for expansion and more water.
No, the only issue we're gonna have at some point as we go west is we're gonna need another pressure plane. So that's gonna be another pump station, maybe even another elevated or
But
something.
we can go further north without a problem. right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not even close to that pressure issue in this area.
We have some spare pumps.
Yeah, we just took them out of the ground.
Right.
Well,
So, look, John, I totally understand your concerns, but I believe, I totally understand your concerns, and they're all valid. Don't take it wrong. But, I think we need to take our chances and invest in this.
I'll say this, I mean, the state knows, the whole state is having our water issues. So that's all, that's going, from now on, that's gonna be a topic.
Mhm.
Yeah. So by getting this done, whether and I firmly believe that we will get something out of it.
Well,
Will it be the 21 million? Don't know. Be nice, but I think it'd be something. But it'll already be done because Brooks, all them know, hey, there is a water issue, so it's gonna continue. So there's always, I think now you're fixing to see more grants, more money start becoming available because it is an issue. And by us getting this done, I mean, we're already a step ahead.
and by us having this stuff done and pre-ready, shovel-ready plans, we're giving Brooks exactly what he wants. When that goes in the ground, we're selling water. And that's what he wanted. He wanted customer connections. And without this stuff, we don't have the customer connections.
That don't have nothing to do with this.
Yeah, it does. I mean, every time we invest money, he wants more customer connections. Because if we can prove that we make the best use of the state's money, it's gonna be an easier argument for a politician. I just gave you 2,000 connections. There's 2,000 people 2,000 households that don't have water, that have water now because of what I've done in the legislature, is exactly what he's gonna say. I mean, he's a politician. He has to have results. This is the way we can get results.
I find it hard to believe that you do the same thing in your business if you had a similar situation for it.
If I had a similar situation, I definitely would do it.
I don't
You
think.
gotta spend money to make money.
Sorry, I've been in
I
business.
agree with that part.
I've been in business 30 years and I guarantee you I spend money to make money. All right, if there's no further discussion, I make a motion that we approve this $598,600 with the $15,000 that has already been approved into this for the TWDD water supply infrastructure grant proposal and associated agreement discussion. And authorize the ECUD president, myself, and any other necessary party to sign all documents associated with this agenda item.
One more question. Have y'all all read all the paperwork that
Yeah, we got an email
you
So-
did? When?
several days ago.
Huh?
Several days ago.
Right?
I guess so. I don't remember exactly
When
when.
did the agenda come out?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a meeting packet.
Yeah, when I get the packet, I turn it off and read it.
And everything they had in there was okay.
Well, as far as I can tell, and the relationship I have with him, I trust him. Do I have a second? First by Troy, second by Jesus. All in favor? Aye.
Nay.
Motion passes 3-0, 3-1. Sorry, John. All right. Agenda item number 3, presentation on cybersecurity, AI training. Ms. Pierce, can you hear us? Good.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep, I can hear you. Y'all can hear me okay?
yes, ma'am. Floor is yours.
The board, I asked Debbie to include 2 agenda items. The first one being, just the required, cybersecurity and AI training, for all elected and appointed directors as well as employees. Previously, cybersecurity was required. Then, the legislation changed it and said that cybersecurity training was only required if you did, more than 25% of your district work on a computer device. So a lot of our districts it didn't apply to, but in this last legislative session, as of 9/1, they brought the requirement back of cybersecurity training regardless of computer usage. And in addition, as I'm sure y'all have seen, the artificial intelligence training is kind of just just taken over. So they added the artificial intelligence training as a requirement as well. We had been waiting for the approved courses from the Department of Information Resources to come out so I could get a good video link and audio link sent to Debbie. I sent her a video link and an audio link because I know some prefer just to listen to it, while they're driving. And some obviously are more visual. So either of those links will work. They have a combined cybersecurity and AI training. There is no test or any questions that are required to be completed. all that's required is you watch the video or listen to it. It's about 35 minutes long. Like I said, all 5 board members are required to take the training, as well as, any district employees. And so once all the district employees and directors have taken the training, I think in the past, Debbie has done the submission to DIR, but if you need our office too, we're happy to. It's a quick, we just mark a box that says, this entity, Essex County Utility District, has completed the required training for 2026. It is an annual training, so you will be required to watch or listen to the video annually.
Nicole?
Other than that, I don't have anything else. But it's my understanding, Debbie, you'll get the links to the board and all the employees.
Yeah, I sent it, as soon as you gave it to us, I sent it to the HR. And she said, forwarded it to all the directors. And last Thursday, you'll be so proud of us, Nicole. Last Thursday, all of the ECUD staff has already watched the video. And I think 3 of the board members have already watched it and seen it as well. So
Good.
you should be real proud of us. You did real good, Nicole.
Again, we're just putting this on all of our districts, a few months ahead. It is not required to tell DIR until August 31st. So you still have the rest of June, July, and August. But again, we just like to give our boards about 2 or 3 months to do the training. So sounds like most of y'all are ahead of it, with just the 2 or 3 remaining directors to complete the training.
Yeah, but
And
we're
again,
all,
once that's done, Debbie, you can either email me and let me know that it's been completed, and we'll send the submission to DIR, or if you would like to, and then just forward me a copy, and we'll just keep in the district file.
okay, but I want to tell you, we completed it, thanks to you. When you sent it out, because we were waiting on the AI one, because the cybersecurity we knew, but after you had, and I had a conversation and sent it to us, well, we jumped right on it, but we thank you for that.
Well, perfect. Yeah, again, a lot of our boards were like, is there a combined one? And we said,
Yeah.
well, we're waiting, so as soon as we get that combined one, we'll send it to everybody. So thank y'all for, jumping on that quickly.
Well, thank you for your input there. It made it a lot easier on us.
Okay, good.
Nicole?
Is there any additional questions?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Did you say that this was the first year that they required, to listen to the stuff and be certified, whatever? We didn't do this last year.
So last year, prior to 9/1 of 2025, last year, cybersecurity training was only required if you did more than 25% of district business on a computer or tablet.
Okay.
That would be like if a district had, their own iPad. Some of the districts we work with, each board member has a tablet or a laptop or an iPad
Right.
that they use, and that's what they review their, meeting packets on, or meeting minutes and agendas.
Yeah.
That's where they check their district email from.
Okay.
So last year, it was not required. And to my knowledge, most of y'all, I would say, when you're doing your, district official capacity, you're not using computers more than 25%. So no, I don't believe y'all would have been required to, as the 5 board members.
Okay.
But years ago, it was required, but then it changed. But to answer your specific question, last year, it was only if you did more than 25% of your district business, via electronic on a computer.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we don't need to vote or anything, Nicole, on that. We can just move to the next agenda
No.
item. All right,
Yep, no action items, just information for y'all.
good. All right, number 4, adoption of social media conduct and decorum policy for directors. Nicole Pierce, you have the floor.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna, if it's okay, Director Walker, I'm gonna kind of combine 4 and 5 together. So,
Oh, yes, ma'am. That sounds good.
okay, I had asked Ms. Hayes to place an agenda item for this. So it had kind of come to my attention, that, some board members maybe communicating with, the public or the community via social media, such as, Facebook, Instagram, just public forums. When I reached out to Ms. Hayes, I asked if there was any social media conduct policy for directors. She said that there wasn't anything official that the board had taken action on. So I just wanted to bring this, to the board's attention for the board to discuss and, possibly take action on. So again, when y'all are, when you have your, ECUD director hat on, there always has to be some level of, professionalism and public accountability whenever you are, communicating or addressing members of the public. We always want to make sure that we're held at the highest standards. Y'all are an elected board. You're elected by, citizens of your community, taxpayers, constituents. And you always want to just be representing, ECUD in the best light as you can. In addition, whenever you do put information out in these social media platforms, you want to always make sure that the information is accurate. Whether or not that be, communicating, when our meetings are, providing the proper, website or contact information, for ECUD. So in line with that, if, you all should have a copy of the, proposed policy and proposed resolution that I sent in your meeting packet. Just going through it briefly, because I'm sure most of y'all have already reviewed it prior to the meeting. Again, this would just be a policy to ensure that all directors, are upholding, the integrity and credibility of the district, and always engaging in, professional, communication as far as when you're communicating with your public and community via social media. Again, when you go to section 4, talking about standards of conduct, holding yourself, professionally so that the community can have that, still public confidence in the district and the directors in their operations and decision making. Again, that accurate information is being provided to the community and citizens. Y'all don't have too much where we go into, closed session or any confidential privilege information. But again, there's always, a time when every now and then we do have to go into closed session. So again, if there's any, communication that is ever discussed, in closed session, or if, communication is brought to the board and it's, deemed and marked confidential or privileged, obviously that information, should stay, confidential and shouldn't be, spread or put out into the public media, through social media, or, provided to, the public in even the hard form, hard copy form. Section 5 discusses, prohibited conduct, again, posting, publishing, or sharing, negative or statements, regarding, official information that's discussed during the meeting, about other ECUD directors, staff, employees, contractors, or the district as a whole. Not misrepresenting or having commentary on district personnel, whether that be if we have to ever go into closed session to discuss, an employee's performance or disciplinary matters. Again, that should stay private and, would be prohibited from, discussing that information out in the public forum. If there's ever an official statement that needs to be, provided on behalf of ECUD, the board would discuss, designate and authorize, an official director and or staff member to be the official representative for that particular matter. And again, that, a director that wasn't authorized wouldn't represent their personal opinions in their district official capacity. And again, a lot of this, as we just talked about with, Chairman, y'all are, trying to go out for the technical development board group, for more infrastructure. And under the TWDB, they have requirements as well. So I've listed that under 5.5, regarding, conduct that would undermine those requirements. And that could, kind of raise the flag, when they are reviewing your application and considering you for possible grant. You'll see section 7 regarding enforcement remedies if, a director were to, violate this policy. And, I think that's everything on the policy. And then I also provided a draft resolution after discussion by the board. If y'all would like to take action on this policy, um, there's the two-page resolution for, to approve and sign. And then this policy would be the exhibit A to that. I'm happy to answer any questions. Y'all can discuss. If there's any section, that you would like to eliminate, delete, or expand on, I'm happy to make any, changes following y'all's discussion. But again, I just wanted to have this for discussion purposes and possible action depending on, today's meeting.
Has everyone had a chance to read the resolution adopting a social media contact and decorum policy for directors?
Yeah.
You?
Nicole, define decorum. Define decorum. It says decorum,
Give me a second,
but I mean, just what's your interpretation?
The first paragraph.
it would be regarding, your behavior and, presenting yourself in a proper professional manner.
Okay, and where did you say the requirement for this was from?
I'm sorry, you're asking me,
Where is the requirement for this coming from?
well, it's not required for the district, but it has come to my attention that, some board members were, posting either, like posts or commenting on other people in the community Facebook posts or through like open, like blogs through social media.
Okay, did you investigate that yourself?
And some of that information was, putting ECUD in a negative light. In addition, was also, stating information that was not accurate. I think one was, notifying the public that the board meetings are the second Tuesday, which, they're the second Wednesday of every month. So again, when we put out in social media word that it's second Tuesday, of course, obviously anybody can mistype, but then what happens is that gets screenshotted, that gets sent to others, and then the public gets confused. Is the meeting the second Tuesday? I live on the website, it's second Wednesday. Which one is it? So it's just, again, the policy is to reinforce that any information we do put out to the public, that it's accurate.
Yeah,
And then again, y'all are representatives of ECUD, y'all have been elected, by your constituents and community. And again, even though we may have personal opinions, we want to kind of keep those at bay when we are, communicating or addressing, members of the public via a social media platform.
well, and misstating a date, I think, would be an honest mistake, but, if you're disparaging somebody, that's something different. Did you yourself investigate these so-called accusations, or are we just taking somebody's word on it, or what?
And that accusation would mean that I don't have anything to back it up. I mean, I have seen one post that was sent to I think it was a comment to somebody in the public.
Okay. All right. There's some things on this that I think are good, and I appreciate you putting it together. But it's pretty broad, in my opinion. And I don't
Well,
know.
again, I mean, you want to
Do we,
broad,
if we're gonna do,
broad, but
if we're gonna do this, does the board or any of the employees have we ever had to sign an ethics, form?
When you're elected.
Well, I'll tell the GM right now, I would like every copy of everything that I've signed or that was put together since I've been put on the board that's in my file, and I'd like it email to me, or you can hand deliver it, I don't care who you want. But I like a copy of everything that I've signed. Because there's lots of stuff that went on when we were first elected, and I could not tell you what all of it was. I should think it would be on the board. Of course, my opinion's changed considerably now, but,
Yeah, but I'm sure it was, I'm sure, I mean, like, our district just had their May elections, y'all are December, most of our other districts are May. So I mean, again, I wasn't your attorney back then, but I would imagine Ms. Hayes has an oath of office for you, statement of, an officer statement that basically you weren't given or promised anything for your, uh, placement on the ballot, or for, for somebody to vote for you, your qualifications letter that you met all the requirements, and qualifications to serve on the board, possibly a conflict disclosure statement that you didn't have any business relationship, or personal relationship with any vendor that the district works with. I mean, when you say every signature, I mean, there's probably been, I mean, at one point you were the board president, so are you asking her to give you copies of every proposal and contract you signed?
just whatever, certifications or whatever we had to sign as being a board member. I don't need to I don't need to see copies of what I signed as president.
You just kind of mean those introductory kind of documents that you would have done as a newly elected board member?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I
And
assume Ms. Hayes can get that for you, but in regards to your point about, you don't want to make the policy too restrictive, because again, I mean, you want to make it broad enough that you can, touches on any type of social media platform there is. I mean, I listed quite a few that I'm aware of, Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, X or TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, blog, online. But I mean, the way the cyber world is, I mean, there could be a new platform that comes out.
Mara, I got a question, Nicole. Can any board member influence the public on whether they should vote for another board member or not?
No. So again, I mean, it would be the same as, a property tax election or, an annexation election. When you're wearing your director hat, you shouldn't be influencing any voter to vote for or against, or for somebody or against somebody. You can provide information and education, but, and that's not even a director hat. It's, nobody should be able to influence a voter on which way they should vote. I mean, the election workers, they take an oath that they're not going to influence or sway or be biased in, when they're working in the election officials. And you as directors also shouldn't be influencing voters on how to vote. I mean, if a board member says, that I know Director Walker and Hendricks are up, if a board member says, how long has Director Walker been on the board? You can either say, I don't know that answer, and I'll find out, or I know he's been on the board 8 years. But you can't say, oh, no, don't vote for him, he's not good on the board. You can't do that. You can provide information, the tangible information, education, but you can't sway or try to influence a voter.
that's in person or on social media. Or both.
Yes, and I would say social media is probably the one you want to be most careful about, because that's in writing, that's in black and white, and the way the cyber world is, somebody screenshots it, and 5 seconds later you may change it, but somebody 5 seconds before that has already screenshotted the original post.
Yeah. Well, you didn't mention anything about sexual harassment in this social media, or how a board member or an employee should conduct themselves when they're in public or at a board meeting, or any of that. I mean, and
Well,
to
because I
me,
wasn't dealing with that policy, I was dealing with the situation where I came across and seen a social media post, and so I went to Ms. Hayes and asked if there was any social media policy. If y'all feel sexual harassment is a problem, then yes, we certainly need to get a policy on that. Even though that's kind of unspoken, if we needed to set a policy in place, we could certainly do that. If we need to set a policy on how directors are going to behave and maintain, a certain level of professionalism, during board meetings or in their interactions with the public and community, we can certainly, do a policy to that effect as well.
Well, some of this is okay, but some of it, you're borderline in the First Amendment, in my opinion.
Okay,
I mean, because the only thing that's been brought up so far is, misquoting the day of the board meeting. There's been nothing else mentioned about anything more severe. And instead of coming up with a whole new policy, why not go to that person and, as a representative of ECUD and mention it to them that there's been a complaint lodged or whatever. And,
Besides the date, I'll tell you what, you were influencing people to vote against Troy and John Hendricks, which is not legal or not valid.
okay,
So that's more severe than missing a date.
and I was the one.
And you wasn't one.
Okay.
so Mr. Kelly, in that situation, you would prefer, if I see the post or Ms. Haynes see the post, you'd prefer one of us or both of us come to that specific board member and not make it known to the entire board that, again, because again, I mean, in my mind, I'm not just looking at this one post or two posts. I want to make it so that it's a blanket policy across the board for all board members. I don't want, if it was a situation where it was your post and then I go to you and address it, and then 2 weeks later, they do write the post, and then I have to have that conversation. Isn't it more transparent to say, hey, an issue arose, and I just want to make a blanket policy for all 5 board members to know this is the rule, this is the standard that this board has adopted, and here's the policy in black and white. I feel like that would be more appropriate than me going directly to that one board member, addressing it and getting it handled and or resolved, and then the other 4 board members are never made aware of it. Can
Okay.
y'all still hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
no, yes.
Any further discussion, John?
Nope.
You good, Jesus? Very good, Daryl? Okay. I make a motion that we approve the resolution with the one change on the first page at the very bottom. John Hendricks is absent.
Yeah.
So if you'll make that change, I would like that to be, brought forth. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Daryl Pando. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Right at the bottom, it's just saying that all the directors were present and none were absent. We have to change it where John Hendricks is absent.
Yeah, I typically include everybody and then we'll update that.
Yes, ma'am. And that's the reason I stepped away to ask Debbie to make sure I understood what was going on.
Yeah, I always just include everybody and then we can always fix
Do you
that, but I'll
want my
get that
copy,
sent
John?
next year just a minute.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-1.
That's for 4 and 5.
Wait a minute,
485.
it's too late now, but I got a question. Go.
Yes.
Who's gonna monitor this?
Well, again, under the policy, I mean, it's not gonna be something I monitor, it's something, is brought to the board or the ECUD staff and employee, attention, or somebody brings it to my attention. So again, under section 7, under enforcement and, the district may collect or preserve these social media posts or communications that appear to violate. And then again, the best course of action would be for the boards to, bring this up during a meeting if it became, it became a pattern with 1 or 2 board members. Then the board, could take any lawful action regarding, formally censoring them, removing them from a committee or officer position. Depending on the severity of the post, you refer to me. And then, of course, depending on the status of the grant and or, hopefully y'all are granted some of the funds under the TWDB grant. There may be requirements as far as, notifying them if there was any violations to this effect for, compliance purposes. And then again, depending on the severity of the post, that could be a whole other situation as far as, if there was slander or defamation made, but that would be kind of referring that out to a different tax attorney. But again, to your question, I'm not going to be monitoring it. There's too many social platforms. I don't think you can expect anybody internally as well on the district. It would just be if this information is seen by others brought forward and or mine and or maintained attention.
And if we don't sign the resolution, is that grounds to be removed from the board?
No, I mean, the resolution really only needs to be signed by Troy, but so for the district that our office is, it's just signed by the board president and attested by the board secretary. I included all 5 of y'all. I know that in the past, I've seen y'all's policies that y'all have everybody sign. But if you're going to refuse to sign, then my recommendation would be for me to change it for Troy to sign and then just have Jesus attest to the signature.
Okay. Thank you.
Would you like for me to make that change, Troy?
Yes.
That's, Nicole, that's up to you. With or without his signature, it's still a policy.
Yeah,
It's still a valid policy.
Yeah,
That's fine. I don't want you to do any extra work. It's more than fine. Debbie can make the change for John Hendricks and I think we can all sign it. Everybody but him, that's fine. I don't think that's a
Okay,
problem.
whatever y'all want. It's an easy change.
No problem.
That I can make.
Nicole, will you do me a favor? Will you do me a favor? Will you go ahead and change it to just Troy's signature, please? And remove John Hendricks, and then that way, if you'll go ahead and do that while we continue and send that to us, then I can get it signed while I have all the board members here. I would deeply appreciate that.
Okay, are you okay if I ask Jesus as the attesting?
Yes,
Okay, I'll make that change while you continue on with the next item.
thank you. And then if you'll just email that to me, then we can get it signed today.
Yes, I'll gonna have it emailed to you in just a minute.
Okay, thank you so much, Nicole.
Okay,
Thank
just
you.
for clarification, that vote covered items 4 and 5, the adoption of the resolution and the adoption of the social media conduct and decorum policy for directors. Number
So number
6.
4 that we discussed it and 5 is the action.
Yes, ma'am. Number 6, discuss and consider take any necessary actions to approve the annexation of petition of 77.56 acres tract of land situated in section 29 and 30, block 43, City Ranch Estates, 5th 5. I make a motion, this is for Franco Housing Development. I make a motion, we approve the annexation. Seconded by Darrell.
One discussion.
Okay.
Do we have them give us a little bit better plan next time?
Are you talking about the map, John? And there probably is a better copy there. This is,
I'm assuming they furnished that.
it's a copy of a copy.
I'd request that they give us something better than that. That's pretty bad.
It's hard to see. Okay. Is that all, John?
I see it.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Use of surplus funds, John Kelly. You have the floor.
No, we kept on this for all ago. Back to the deal. How much money do we have in surplus? David,
I can get that number for you later.
are you gonna send an email? Next month? I mean, it'd been nice to know today so we could discuss the use of it.
So it's somewhere around 1.5 to 2 million. The exact number I do not know, Director Kelly, but between 1.5 and 2 million. How would you like for us to use that money?
I'd like to expand the district.
And how would you like for us to do
But
that?
you, last time you said we needed to buy meters. There may be some of that needs to be gone for. I just want to know how much we got.
So let's just,
So we can look, I mean, if by chance they get that, grant, we might have enough, we can add on to another 100 homes in the same area. And without knowing how much money we got.
so it's roughly somewhere around 1.5 to 2 million.
Is that including the 600 that we just approved or not?
So,
It's included.
yes.
Okay, so approximately 1.5, 1 to 1.5. Is that fair?
I'll look it up here on the finances here in a minute, but there's one column there where it shows we got 2 million in this bank and 2 million in another bank. Like, you know what, maybe what
That's probably Techstar that you're looking at.
one of them.
Those are investments.
So the Techstar accounts, those are the accounts that we deposit the money in to pay the bond.
What bond?
The
Your
TWD.
PWD bond, your $45 million bond.
No, okay.
Yes.
So that's money that's being deposited into TxDOT for the payment. We listed on our financial statement. So that's not liquid. And by liquid, I mean, that's not cash that you can write a check on.
Right.
Any further discussion, John?
No,
All right, we'll move on to number 8. Update on committee on
Yeah, there's no
contract with the city. John Kelly, you have the floor.
I just want to know where we're at on. Have we talked to them? Do we have plans to talk to them? We just got to let it keep going like we did.
Okay,
Not have a contract or what?
I do have an opinion here because I do own property inside the city. And I can tell you 23 and 24, that all the city accounts went up 6%. Last year, they went up another 3%. So that's 9% in 2 years that the city has absorbed that cost. My problem is watching the city council and knowing what's going on there and what they're doing with the taxes right now, going up on everything, John. If we don't let sleeping dogs lie, if we force this issue, we're gonna get that increase. So if you want to be responsible for us to get that increase and pass that directly on to our customers, we'll follow your lead.
No, because I'm just a peon. I'm just trying to find out what's going on and doing a little else.
I think strategically right now, the best thing we can do is keep our mouths shut. We haven't had an increase in 2 years.
I'd rather wait till the city comes in the process.
Yeah.
We sent the proposal to them to have in their hands, have an answer, it's up to them. We did our part. What the dog.
Sleeping dogs lie.
Lie.
Yeah, sleeping dogs lie as long as they will. That's just my personal opinion. Do you have any other
Nope.
questions there? Okay, we'll move on to number 9, detailed minutes. John Kelly, you have the floor.
They just need to be explained a little better. Back in August of last year, same question come up. Update from the committee on water supply contract. And the reply was the exact same thing as the question. The general manager gave a reply on the update on the committee. The city will do. That's not a set of minutes. We don't know what happened. We didn't say. We didn't have a meeting. They wouldn't talk to us because they getting city managers or what, but
I know for a fact, we sent them a proposal.
no, I'm not worried. I'm just talking about the minutes now, Troy.
Well, I mean, the minutes follow Robert's Rules of Order.
That's not Robert's Rule of Order.
Yes, sir.
When you reply, it's the same thing as your question.
It's an answer to the question as best it could be explained.
I don't, it
Well-
needs to be done better. And I've never seen in Robert's Rule Board where it states that you can get by with minutes like that. They got so many AI things out there, Troy. And I may be talking to Johanna about this, but they got Copilot, you know, and it'll sit there and convert the conversations over into a summary for you.
But why do you want to spend money on that, John? If it's that big of a deal to you, you can record those videos off of YouTube and see every single thing that was said.
It's on YouTube.
And you can even you can purchase an AI to convert all that to a complete
Why
form.
should I have to do it when we're having a board meeting and the minutes should be taken care of there?
Because the minutes follow Robert's Rules of Order.
Forget it, that's not Robert's Rule of Order. You need to read that because it's not illegal, but the president shouldn't make a motion on every agenda.
Just trying to move the meeting along.
I know.
Receive the general manager's report regarding the following customer delinquencies, disconnects, collection referrals, and financials. Debbie Hayes, you have the floor. Miss Debbie Hayes, sorry. Ms. Reese.
So on, this month, the office staff continue to support field operations, customer service, billing, and compliance. Here. Have something to read, but I just read them. There were 249 work orders generated by the staff. There were 1,259 phone calls received in, 792 out, 467 in. The average call was 2 minutes and 13 seconds. And the average number of calls was around 41 per day, which is consistent with the numbers that I've been reporting. On the delinquency side, there were 547 letters sent out for a delinquency dollar amount of 156,000 and change. There were delinquency letters that were made payments after the letters came in their box to 367. The amount that we ended up collecting off of that was 118,000 and change. The remaining balance out of your 156 is $38,151. Accounts that have not made a payment were 180 accounts. Who still owe us money is 14,000 and change. Accounts resulting in water shutoffs that we shut off in the month of May were 62 customers. We had to send staff out. There were about 212 manual readings that ended up showing up on the system. And after going through them and auditing them, we narrowed that down to 29. There were 5 new caps that were installed, and all of those were done by ECUD staff. And not any of them were done by customers where they contracted it out. Out of the new meters, there were 22 that were installed during the month of May, which means that we are up to 188 meters, new meters that have been installed. So as staff,
Bravo.
good job for the field staff.
Yeah.
As we move forward, the staff continues to work with developers in your district. There are multiple developments that are going on that we're out working with their construction crews and doing inspections. We continue to work with the county with the 16.5 million in funds that they got. And then, of course, working along with Kimberly Horn and the infrastructure that TWD got. And then, of course, we got our resiliency management report off to TCEQ as we're supposed to do. And we're working on the emergency plan on a consistent basis. So that is the report. So
Thank you, Ms. Hayes.
on the finance side, In your packages is your finance information. And as we go through it, in your check register as well,
It's in the very back.
in the very, very, in the very back, you can go through, you can see that, all your revenue that was deposited for the month of April was 728,000. And on your expense side, there really wasn't anything that stood out as far as any abnormalities and expenses for the month of that we went through. A couple of things, I'll just let you know that it came up that were some repairs and maintenance on vehicles. Is we had to buy some tires for one of the trailers, and we bought tires for one of the pickup trucks. Had to have some hydraulic work done on the hydrovac. Just some maintenance costs, but other than that, the expense side really wasn't abnormal at all. If you look at your check register, you will notice that there were 2 checks made payable to PSC. PSC, if you look at your check register, which looks like this, John, you'll see where there's one for 29,861. And in the footnotes, it says for January 1st to 31, we had reported to you that we were waiting on a PSC. We'd requested, we knew we didn't pay it, requested for that to come in. It finally came in. So it got paid. So there's 2 checks. So there's one check on page 1, and there's a second check where we pay for the April services in the month that we go ahead and pay when we get. So that was the 30,000. But other than that, that's
Is that all the financials?
but unless anybody has any questions,
That's true.
then I'll try to answer them.
I got some, but they don't relate to any of what you just done. Kind of house cleaning, things I'd like to know what happened. One of them's taken care of, the portable meters, it's on the website now, prices.
Yeah, so the reason that wasn't changed is so that you'll know in the future is that we have to make out a work order request because it's a change in price through AVR. And so we don't change anything publicly until we know that AVR has been able to do it. And then once we get a thumbs up that it's been done and that work order's been completed, then we go back through and change it actually on the website. We don't put the cart before the horse. And so it was approved by AVR and it has now been changed on the website.
If y'all are interested, that's a question.
I have a whole question.
Mhm.
I see 3 different checks. That say, on the memo, meter expense. And between all 3 checks, it's like $29,000 expense. What are these meter expense mean?
So it could be anything from brand new meters that we bought, the new meters. It could be, the meter expense for everything else that goes into putting the meter in the ground.
This is,
And
you're
it
talking
could be-
about replacing.
Did we
Yeah.
buy meters this last one?
Yeah, we bought,
Replacing
yeah,
existing.
yeah, for example, we bought let's see, that was a 1-inch meter. And we ordered 2 new 2-inch meters. The 2-inch meters cost us almost $3,200 for those 2-inch meters. The 1-inch was, around 1,000. So it doesn't take long for that to add up, but if you'd like, Director Sanchez, when we get out of the meeting, we'll pull those invoices and go through those with you.
Oh.
Mhm. Yeah, we can pull them in that way, because some of it is actual, could be parts that go into it. Just depends on who the vendor is.
And not being critical at all. A lot of times when I read these on Friday, I'll call and say, okay, what was this? And she's always either sent me the copy of the bill
You got
or
it.
told me exactly what it is. That's what I do, but. Um. John, if you wouldn't mind silencing your phone. So, she can hear us, please. Do you want to finish these discussion of these questions?
If I can, because I think she can knock it out pretty quick.
Okay, can she just answer the questions from the?
Well, as long as I got a chance to read back or answer something.
Okay.
Because I'm out of
A lot of
road.
these questions you could just ask her. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
really a board.
A lot, yeah, a lot
I
of
know,
these
but
questions-
for transparency's sake, I think this needs to be brought up. Some of the stuff I'm bringing up is old. I mean, we go back and look on your minutes, and I don't know, you know, the Robert's Rule of Order, Troy, but we got a lot of things that we tabled and we've never readdressed them.
If they're not scheduled for readdressment, they're not readdressed.
You don't say.
If they're tabled and not postponed, it means tabled. It's stopped.
So
It's
we just
dead.
got rid of it.
It's dead.
All right. On the water station, Debbie, what was our total cost coming in on?
554,000.
Okay. I went by there the other day. And it looks good. But even at the high cost, we need to change some minds. I know we're gonna get vandals from time to time. But gosh, we need to be providing service for these people.
Okay. And I completely agree with that, but may I respond to that? Because I do have, okay, if we want to do that, we have to provide someone to work overtime. To answer every time somebody doesn't know how to change it from bottle to tote. Or can't read and insert their card back. I think what we're doing right now, like I explained to him a while ago. Once we train the public how to use these during the hours. Once we've worked out all the bugs for the community, we're not gonna spend a lot of overtime. John, if we start using up overtime now, we're gonna go over budget and we're gonna be back where we were. Okay, if you don't wanna hear me, that's fine.
I do, but
You're not listening.
we're starting to talk about expenses now. That's still relevant.
It is an expense. If you want to open this for more hours, it is an expense because somebody has to monitor. it.
Well, my argument is on that, Troy. People are not available to buy the water from 8 o'clock,
Okay.
3 o'clock, or whatever.
It's
If we're
been
not
my
there
job.
at 5 o'clock,
I'll be
at
glad,
least,
I'll be glad to interject, okay? Let me. So the board is who set these hours.
I know.
Okay, so the board set it. So because these questions are to me. So my response to you is, if the board wants to change the hours of the operation of the water station,
Okay,
then
I'll
how,
bring it up next month.
then how it needs to be done is it needs to be done in a motion of what hours you want. Only thing I want to caveat with that is that while we are here at work from 8 to 5, we have eyes on the water station those hours from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 at night. Because we have cameras where we watch them. After 5 o'clock, we do not have any eyes on the cameras. It's being videoed. but we don't have eyes on where we can see what they're doing. Okay? The second thing is that right now, if there are 5 people that show up at the water station, 3 of them need assistance. They do not know how to run the credit card reader. They don't know how to change it to where it goes from filling up a truck to filling up a 5-gallon bath. So we have to dispatch someone to go to the water station to help them with it. I have no problem doing that whatsoever. And I have no problem doing it after 5 o'clock either. But the board will have to approve to make an amendment to this current budget to increase the wages, because that we will pay that employee who is on call the $100 in overtime to go out there and do it. And so if that's what this board approves, then that's what we're gonna do.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
But
If I can ask, I mean, do you get a lot of complaints or inquiries about getting to the station for water after 5?
We have not had any here at the office.
Okay.
How many calls do you get a day? People have issues.
A day,
Yeah.
there's probably, I'd say I can do it in a week, okay? So we get between 3 to 4
Problems.
problems a week. A week, 3 to 4 times a week that we have to go out there.
But if those were after hours, you'd be looking at $300 or $400 plus,
Yeah.
plus.
So
Hourly
I
wages.
mean,
So I guess what we're looking at is as time goes by and the issues start becoming less,
Less and less.
then that's when we should actually start looking at.
That was my comment on it.
And my other deal is if this is gonna come up next month's board meeting, can we have a solution as to how this will be? How we're gonna either pay somebody or we need a solution.
Well, but, okay, I don't have that solution. And it's my belief, because of human nature, when the problems start dwindling and you see, like I told Mr. Garza earlier, when we see the cost versus what we're making, we can make that decision then. When the problems start decreasing and we realize that we have trained the public well enough to do it, then we can make a call from that. And that would be something that Debbie could bring up. Hey, we're down to 1 call a month. Let's open it up for more hours, because she's just like us. She wants to make money. She wants the district to make money just like we do. So I really think time will tell. I would love to make the changes right now, but I don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot either. Just because my hand hurts, I don't want to cut my leg off.
And I just want to ask a
You
question.
also don't want to pay somebody to work after 5 if the calls, the service and calls don't warrant that.
Absolutely.
So that's why I was asking, I mean, do you get a lot of inquiries like, oh, y'all, we're open till, 6, I could come by.
No, it's mostly I can't work the credit card machine, or I don't know how to turn it from tote to bottle. It's minor stuff that we just need to train the public on. And once they become proficient, it will be easier to extend hours, in my opinion.
Okay.
I have a question. Probably the answer is obvious. I haven't been to the station yet, but is there a step-by-step how to run that machine?
yeah,
Most of them can't read.
Actually, excuse me, that's confusing the way y'all have it set up there.
in the,
I've been out there and read it. I can
In the
understand it. I mean, I don't know,
I
I don't know.
kind of have a solution, but I'll bring it up whenever this comes up on the agenda.
all right, we gotta get the picture.
I mean, is there a way to make the instructions more, like, with pictures, possibly make it easier for the public?
I mean,
I
you have people that there's
I mean, I have obviously seen the instructions.
right, there's a social media post that's going around because the lady's car said -4 degrees, but it looked like a man sitting on a toilet. I mean, dealing with the public, even the pictures that we think are completely clear. And I can say this because I took a communications course in college on how to eat an Oreo. You can screw that up. And I mean, no matter, the only thing that's really going to fix this is time and investment and letting people understand, even if it takes an employee to go out there during the day to explain it to them to their level.
And that might be
How
what,
quickly can an employee get there?
Within 30 minutes.
yeah, 20.
I don't think anybody has been there more than 30 minutes waiting. Anybody that I've talked to at least.
And I will tell you, I do know of 2 occasions where we did send an employee out there, Nicole, and when we got the employee out there who pulled off of a service call to go help this person, because they're there, when they got there, they'd already left.
Just gave up and left. We have somebody on the way,
Yeah.
maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, and they leave.
Maybe when you open the door.
So I guess that's part of my concern, which you brought up, and I appreciate, is that if you dispatch somebody after 5 o'clock, by the time that person drives from Odessa proper out to West Odessa, that's a 35, 40-minute drive. They're not there anymore. They're gone. They're gone. And
Then we
so,
paid the $100 plus the hour labor.
so, you know, maybe one of the solutions that the board might want to consider when we go to budget to try to educate is you hire an attendant that works there just like they do at the car washes now. I mean, you know, I don't know what the answer is, but
Well, you can't lead everybody around by their hand. You know, they are grown ups. You know,
Sometimes.
you just let them that can figure it out, and then the tank will call their friends to come figure it out for
so I
them.
don't.
So that's the answers on the Irish. We're gonna be that way until we either change them in a board meeting or that we educate the public.
Yes, sir.
Well, and you don't have, do you know how much water we've sold since we both did that
No.
monthly? Did we track it?
Yes, sir, we do. We track it, we have to track the water and what's gone into, we track all
Did,
that.
did we check the one out there off of the interstate, see how they did theirs before we jumped off and did this? Did we?
And this was part of the ARPA project.
I know what it was
Kelly,
part
and
of
so
it.
I didn't drive out there.
Well, I mean, did Madrid or whoever, did they investigate other stations like this? Well, we should have followed up on that.
It was all done before we all got here.
I was here, so it's my fault.
Well, it's built while we was here.
You're right, correct, but the contracts and the and how the construction engineering was done way before it started being built.
Well, somebody got involved and we
On
should
the
have
interstate,
followed up.
you enter a pin, they sign you a pin, and you enter it up, and the water starts coming down, you're charged for however much. You've got to shut it off yourself. So they have a lot of issues out there.
And it's non-potable too.
Yes.
All right, give us an update on the continuing education on the field hands on their certification. Are they getting more?
So there's a class coming up in November. And I don't know exactly what classes are going to be offered other than the resiliency class. And so it's going to be $450 each, plus all their expenses from the 2nd to the 5th.
Do we know how many's going?
There were 3 that went before, so 3 might go, 2 might go,
When do they?
1 might go.
But they don't even know what classes are being offered, so we really can't tell who's gonna go until they know what classes are offered, John.
But y'all are working with employees, letting them know the classes are coming up if they want to.
Yeah, they know it, they know in November, but again, I cannot force them to go, and the board cannot force them to go to these educational classes.
I understand that, but
So, I mean,
that's all the more reason they should have been paying for it, because then they'd be more inclined to get their certificate, or whatever it is. All right, number 4, I'm gonna skip that. That'll be up next month. And because on number 5, because the voter registrar's office never did give the contract last time. Or our cost on the, or sign a contract with ECUD on the, what it's gonna cost for the ballot. Last November, went during the election, when we was running, and it come up that we owe $60,000, and you said, I sent them a contract, they never signed it, never returned it.
No, I went before, remember you went before
I know,
the
but-
commissioner's court
Before that, you tried to get them to give you a price.
for that election, for the 24
Yes.
election? Wait, no, they
No,
didn't.
the 25 election.
There was no election. in
We haven't had
25,
election in
You've been on the
25.
board 2
Yeah,
years.
you were on November
Already?
2024.
Seems like 6.
I know, years. Trust me, I've been there.
24.
Millennial.
So let's back
And,
up, okay?
Mr. Kelly, it was the November 24 election.
Okay, I'm sure.
Right.
So in the 24 election, there was, there was a contract that the county provides. Okay? So the price when we got it was too much. We went, you asked me to even go, it was signed.
Wait a minute, same time.
So
I already know all that. Did
Now,
we
what's your
not,
question?
did we not send a contract for them to sign on what it would cost us?
no, we didn't do a contract.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
And it's based on how many people actually
Now-
vote. That's the reason that number can't be predicted.
Okay,
So I will tell you that
That would be something I would want to discuss with your elections office. We do elections, with all of our entities across multiple counties. Every county I work with, we get an elections contract up front. And it's typically the cost is either based on, we'll get, an estimate amount, and you typically pay like a 60% deposit, and then the balance, at the end of the election. Sometimes we have to pay a few $1,000s more, and sometimes it's actually a refund due, depending on if it didn't cost as much. For Harris County, obviously, that's the largest county we work with. They base the price, per registered voters within each of those jurisdictions. So, you should get an elections contract in the beginning, and they should be able to give you a dollar amount for budgeting and planning purposes.
So what I was going to say is that I've already sent an email to Mike Gardner and Billy Hall, our commissioners for this area, for your constituents. That is the formula that was used for the 24 election. And that's what they're using in drawing up a contract to be presented to ECUD board.
okay, thank you.
Does that help?
Yes, very good, thank you.
You're very welcome.
And Mr. Kelly, typically, they'll be able to give you, kind of an estimate, but they won't know until all the entities that calls for the election, after that August, I believe, 17th or 18th date. And so again, if more entities join on the ballot, then obviously that's going to spread out the cost. But if only, 2 or 3 entities are doing an election, then obviously each of those 2 entities is going to bear the cost, a greater percentage of the cost.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
7.
No, 6. And in 24, the voter roster wasn't correct. We need to get that correct. I don't know what you gotta do, but it's,
So let me just tell you, in 24, we provided every list of the people.
excuse me a minute, just a minute. I don't mean to be rude and interrupt you. And I understand all you've done. I'm just saying that the voter roster is not correct because I had neighbors that were not in our district and they voted. And then there was neighbors that wasn't in our district and they voted. I'm just saying we need to look at it and get with ECAD and the voter registrar's office and make sure that they got everybody that's in our district that's paying for water on the voters roster. That's all I'm asking. And it should be something fairly easy to do. I don't need to know the baby pains and all of that. It's just something that needs to be taken care of, because people are being robbed of their privilege to vote. And it's something that I think we ought to be responsible for and work with these other outfits. ECAD should be able to pull it up on computer pretty good as far as who's in the district and who's not.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Mr. Kelly, if I can just interject, with all due respect, I mean, the entity, with all, like I said, with all the entities we work with, the county will send our district's, street lists to review, because obviously new streets, are added to entities, which obviously includes new voters. But as I, addressed with you, when you did send the list of agenda requests, I mean, new voters, for this upcoming election, I mean, they have till October 5th to register for the November election. So, I mean, that voter registration list is kind of an ever-changing document. So that responsibility doesn't fully fall on the district. I mean, you have an election contract with your county. And, to say, there are residents that didn't get to vote. Well, I've done elections for 17 years. I ran multiple elections, very large elections. I mean, the voters always have the ability to vote provisionally. And so then what would happen is they would vote provisionally. Following election day, those provisional ballots would go to the voter register. And if they are a true district resident, their ballot will be counted.
But Nicole, the voter roll out here has been messed up for years, and it's never been straightened out by anyone. Last year may have been
And voter roll, you mean for your ECUD or across the board?
for ECUD.
At your county jurisdiction?
No, for ECUD. It hadn't been right for years. And
Okay.
personally, I don't think it's been done right, but I don't know if the annexations turned in when they are, or if ECAD even didn't post them, or I don't know where the problem is, but I can guarantee you it's not right.
They should be recorded with Exeter County.
Pardon?
When
When
we
y'all make
annex,
the annexation petitions, they get recorded with Exeter County, real property records, I presume.
yes.
You're absolutely correct, Nicole. And
So,
every time we annex anything in, and it was balanced to the penny, to the voter roll in 24.
What's up?
Everybody, pardon me?
say that last sentence.
So in 24, the elections office and the district and the appraisal district all did a reconciliation. We made sure that everything that had been annexed into this district had been given to the elections office and to the appraisal. Since
Okay, can
24,
I ask that, is there a possibility that you just have voters who haven't, registered, which is why?
There could be, again, they think they're annexed, but they're not.
Or they think they're not annexed and they are.
So usually it's user.
Late, you're not gonna be on the list.
So every single month,
Register at all, they're not gonna be on the list, yeah.
so every time we annex anything in, we record it with the clerk's office, the county clerk. And the elections office is responsible for getting that information from the county clerk's office.
Yeah.
In 24, Commissioner Gardner made sure that everything that county clerk Jennifer Martin had balanced back to the elections office. And it did. I was told it did from the county. After 24's election and moving forward to today, every time, every month, we annex anything in, we go straight to the clerk's office to have it recorded. So
And maybe start copying your elections office or voter register.
they're those two, because they have the same computer software, so they can talk to each other, okay? And again, that's county, that's not Debbie Hayes in this board.
Yeah.
And then we also give,
Two separate offices and buildings, but
Yeah.
y'all are in the same then they're probably seeing it at the exact same time file.
Exactly. And then we also
So,
give a spreadsheet to the appraisal district.
okay.
And then they in turn communicate with the clerk's office. So there isn't a process or procedure left that the district itself can do. We give all the information to the county and to the appraisal district. I have no access to either of them or their software.
Yeah, so that's just what I'm kind of trying to impress upon Mr. Kelly is that
Thank you.
there's
Thank
a
you.
lot of factors of why somebody would be
Yeah.
off, the voter roll.
And I will tell,
Irrespective of any process that the district.
yeah, and since
Again,
twenty-four,
if you don't register timely, and then obviously we're all human, we all make mistakes. There could be a human error where a voter gets left off. But again, when you're at this polling location, those election workers have a registration omissions list. It's a form. I know exactly what the form looks like. I think it's a lot of the county board, it's a tan form. And if you are inadvertently omitted from the list, you would vote provisionally. Or if they call the county, it's a good voter, they would vote regularly. And they would be added to that omissions list, and that would go to the county to get them correctly added back on the voter roll. So again, without knowing another specific incident, Mr. Kelly, it's hard to say what else the district could do on their end.
Well, all I know is what I've been told, and I had to help a neighbor. She was in the district, but, I wasn't on her ballot, and we had to carry her down there to the registrar's office and get her put on there. And why she wasn't on there, I don't know, because she'd been on ECUD for about 5 years, and, never been on there. So, she may have got 100% from everybody, but there's still people falling through the cracks. And I think the number is larger than what was admitted to, so that's a personal opinion there.
I know, but her address is only within the district,
Yes, ma'am.
and it has been for many years.
Yes. But
So
worse than that, my neighbor on the other end told me after the election that she voted for me and she was not in the district because my property where I lay my head is not in the district and she's just right across the street. So, it's not right.
Again, I don't know if that's a function of the street number range could be mistaken on. I have districts that one side of the street is in the district and the other side isn't. I have for half the streets in the district and the other half not. So maybe that's a function of we need to check the street ranges, if there's a street list that your elections office gives out. But again, the responsibility really falls on the elections office.
Well, that can
Make
only
sure
do what,
their voter registration list is accurate and up to date.
well, but, they had to be told who is in the district, don't they? ECAD, gets
Only
information
with the
from,
annexations, only with new annexations, and for the most part, your annexations are, 1 or 2 blocks, like a particular parcel.
okay,
For the most part, your elections office should know your district boundaries.
all right. Are we gonna double check it this year since it's coming up for an election? Or are we just gonna let it go?
Well, of course every county we work with sends street lists and street ranges. Again, I never worked with your district with an election. I don't know the process in Ector County. But if there is something you need from me or my office to do and assist or review a street list or assist with reviewing voter registration lists, we are happy to do that. I am very versed on elections. I actually had to create an entire voter registration list from scratch for a particular county and elections office 1 year.
Now, Nicole,
It was about 28 hours of work.
this board's not gonna pay for that. You gotta be joking.
No, that was creating it from scratch. Yours is not from scratch.
Thanks for the info.
You're welcome.
All right, number 7, an explanation, if we can, in the minutes for when there's not a quorum. I mean, we don't know, back in, July, we didn't have a quorum. So we met 2 weeks later.
Well, the explanation would be that 3 people are missing. I mean, you have a quorum, you have 3.
Okay, but in the second meeting,
I know, but there would be no minutes for that meeting.
I understand, but there's no, how do I know why there wasn't a meeting?
But you only have a written record. Your meeting minutes are a written record of your meeting. It's
Okay,
on- I'm making up a date because I don't have it in front of me. It's July 11th. We all show up and there's only 2 board members. There is no meeting. The meeting is not called to order, and then therefore no written record is made. And then a week later, we have a meeting. That's the written record of the meeting.
do you not state why you're meeting the second time?
I've been doing this for 17 years. No, I've never noted in the new meeting.
If I wanted to,
July 18th, because just 11th, we didn't have a quorum. There is no meeting, so there's nothing to write down.
that seems backwards to me, because you need to know why there's not a quorum. We had another one that, well,
This falls in.
We have less than 3 board members.
I understand, but this falls into minutes. I mean, we had another board meeting that, 10 minutes into the meeting, a motion was made to dismiss the meeting, and we dismissed it. The following week, we had, reconvened for the meeting and carried on. But there's no,
Yes.
there's no,
There was a written record of both sets of minutes, because both minutes, or both meetings, excuse me, were called to order.
but I don't know why. I don't know why the first one, I don't know why the first board meeting was called, and shut down, and then we had the other meeting.
It was shut down because they had a break.
Well, I mean, we.
Well, I know why, I'm just saying, there was no, there was no printed. If I look at it 5 years down the road, Jesus, at my age, I'm not gonna remember what the heck went on.
Can we move this along?
Yes, we can move it along.
It's costing us money, John.
I'm through, Troy.
Thank God. I make the motion, we adjourn this meeting.
We haven't approved it yet.
We have to approve.
I motion we approve manager's report, general manager.
Thank you, Daryl.
I second. I didn't first this time.
I'm sorry for my actions. I just have a little bit of Mr. Walker's temper in me. I feel like I'm crapped on every time I come to one of these meetings, and I'm used to it.
John, you arguing with
Troy, Troy.
I'm out of it.
We just talked about the,
I'm gonna do my best to hang on till November, and that's it.
Number
You just need to.
13, no,
You need
12.
to. Did you, who? I cannot hear over everybody.
Go ahead, Nicole.
You got it?
I'm sorry.
Okay,
11, I thought we were still under Debbie's report under 10.
Okay, Debbie's report.
That was on number 10, so we need number 11.
Do we need to approve Debbie's report or just move on?
Yes, somebody please.
Okay,
No, just noted that we over.
approve Debbie's
Thank you.
report.
I mean, motion we approve Debbie's report.
A second.
First by Jesus, second by Daryl. Well, no, I moved to 4. I moved to 11. So, all in favor? Say aye. All opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Okay. No, he's still here, he's just not talking.
Okay, so we've got to put one, the minutes should reflect one abstaining.
One abstained, okay. Abstained.
Okay.
One abstained.
I'm gonna get the hell out of here.
Okay. Number 11, all consent agenda items are listed, considered routine by the board, will be enacted by a single motion. No separate discussion or action of any items is necessary unless directed by a board member. The minutes from May 13th, 2026 board meeting and the accounts payable for this meeting, June 10th, 2026.
Motion to accept.
Daryl made the motion. I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0, one abstain. Motion passes. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Jesus made the motion. Daryl seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion 3-0 passes.